a major event with a lot of people. The kind of thing George is talking about is just a small event, like you said, cleaning up somebody's front area that would have let us do it. Doesn't take too long, not that many people, not that expensive, but it gets the club active doing things. And once you get them in the mode of doing things, they can do other things.
Good evening, all. Anyone here? Oh my goodness. I actually made it.
That's great.
I have to talk to you. I have to answer your questions.
Yeah.
I guess I better talk real slow.
Yes, indeed.
Well, you didn't win the raffle, John Lawrence. Neither did you, Elizabeth.
Well, I know I didn't.
PJ, are you proud of me? I actually got here.
Joe, I am so excited to see your smiling face this evening. Yes, and John, you have just been a dynamite lion this week, haven't you?
Oh,
trying to make it work.
Hey, Billy, Bill Thomas, Dave Mitchell.
Hi, Bill.
Hey.
Take it
seminars.
Hi, Mrs. Bill.
You're gonna hear the booming. You'll hear the booming voice of Larry Shelton because he's in my kitchen still on the Suburban meeting. But those of you who bought tickets for me for the beach raffle, you didn't win. Sorry.
Didn't expect to.
Carol Schoonover's here too.
Oh, we better straighten up. Now I'm scared.
We have to behave now.
Deb, Bill, how are you both?
Good. Thanks to see you, Joe.
Hi, Shy One, Ralph.
Hi, Ralph.
Hey, John.
Somebody is monitoring on 2 separate devices.
Well, it says you on my screen.
That's gotta be,
Well,
Bill,
you
that's
do
gotta be
on my
Bill
screen.
Thomas doing that, or is it Ralph? You got a cell phone on or something?
It's not us.
I think it's us.
It's got, if it's John's fault. If it goes right, it's Carol. If it went wrong, it's John's fault.
Okay, or it's not my fault.
Okay, it's 7:12, and we're gonna have more people join us. First of all, welcome to all these great Lion friends to see you all here. I'm wondering if there was a conspiracy to set me up, looking at this group to ask me questions. I'm a little nervous, but honestly, but this is a Q&A, which is wide open to everyone. But I will say, as Eileen constantly tells me, you do not know everything. So that I'm aware of. So
Is everybody else getting an echo from Joe?
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys. I was helping in another room.
Devices.
yeah, we got some echo going on, so we're trying to figure out why.
I'm going to start muting people. Okay.
Okay.
It's always David Mitchell who gives us the problems, isn't it? That should take care of it, Joe.
Dave, I didn't put him up to that either. Dave, honestly, I didn't.
I represent that remark.
Go ahead, Dave. I unmuted you so you can go ahead and get your shot in.
No, can we do that ourselves? Mute and unmute ourselves?
Yep. So, guys, you should be able to go ahead and mute yourselves. Down here at the bottom, you should see a little microphone. You can click
The microphone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So does anyone have any particular questions they want to kick this off? We get a discussion going, or should I throw a question into the next?
And Joe, before you get started, I'm just going to go ahead and chime in with one thing here. Yeah, thank you, Dave. There are far more than 9 people in this room, which I love. I'm only allowed to share 9 people on the screen. So if you do want to interact, go ahead and use the chat functionality. And what I'll do is I'll take somebody off the screen and allow you to jump on. Or you could just ask the question there and we'll read it. Go ahead, Joe. Thanks.
Okay. So I can see 9, but I can't see 18. And I don't see the participant list, but in the chat function, I'm not sure. I'm glad I'm just on and into this thing.
Joe,
I
you
think
go ahead
Joe
and
up
do
next
your
to the
thing,
lead,
and then
but-
I'll chime in when somebody needs you. How's that?
Okay. Questions
like
from
to me like
anybody
there's
on the
16.
screen? What was that?
It looks to me like up next to the leave button in the upper right is 16. That's probably the number that we have participating.
That's pretty good. So besides those on the screen and those not on the screen, does anyone have a start off question, or should I?
It looks like Lion William Thomas does. Go ahead, Lion.
Joe, if everybody looks over to the right where the options were chat, polls, people, and Q&A, if you click on people, it will tell you everybody that's online.
You got it. Mm-hmm. You may need
Okay,
to
I see
expand
that.
your screen.
Okay.
There you go.
I see that. All right, Ruth. Governor Ruth's here. Our second vice governor, soon to be elect. Bill Thomas, Chris. Okay, Ruth. Some are here several times. What's this, like Chicago voting?
Be careful.
PID, Joe, I've got a question if nobody
Yes.
else has one.
Yes.
Have you heard any noise out of LCI if they're going to extend the membership waiver?
They are not. I got an email on that today.
They're not going to do it at all?
No.
What they have done is postpone the dues increase until next year. That's coming off the agenda for the virtual convention at the end of June. They're going to put off the dues increase consideration until
I
Next
saw that,
question.
but they ought to waive the initiation fee if they want new members.
I think you should express that in response to your emails, because we do have some influence with even some of the officers, so I think it's a good point.
Not my dog.
No, it's
Not
mine.
mine either.
I knew that was gonna happen. This meeting's gonna go to the dogs. I just knew it. Any other questions?
Comment on that, Joe?
Oh, go ahead. Just, come on, Elizabeth. Just,
You know, the only reason I'm in this session is to insult you, right?
well, yeah, but you're not alone.
That is for sure.
Elizabeth made a mistake of being at a pro bono project working that I did. I met her and made her a lion, and she's blamed me ever since. But it's a good ask. I'm glad she did. But she lost her mind. What can I say? So the question I was going to ask, and I've listened to seminars for 4 days, is when I joined Lions 40 years ago, Lions then were drastically different from what Lions clubs are now. Drastically different. We were basically all one sort of members, anything I ever saw, and most of them middle-aged or higher. And we have actually changed quite a bit in the area of diversity. So my question is, what can we do to get the word out that it's time to come see us and join us in our service projects? What can we do to get in shape or make it second nature or an actual habit daily to talk about Lions to our family, friends, people we come across? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Joe. My thought is we don't need to talk to them. We need to show them what we're doing. Get out in the public and do more service.
Do you know Al Brandell became a Lion? You know, it wasn't because he was invited to a couple dinner meetings. Have you ever heard his story?
Don't believe it.
He was a police officer who needed some sort of a blood condition, and they would have to have blood drives for this officer time to time. So he was asked to volunteer the first year, and he did, and he met Lions. He was asked to volunteer a second year and saw the Lions in action, and was then invited to join club because he said, based on what he had seen as far as the service projects, yeah, that's what he did. He saw us in service, not eating. So
That's more important as we want to try and attract younger members. They don't want to come to have meetings. They want to come do service.
I got some other news for you. These, Daniel Elkins is one of our rising stars out of Delaware, and that generation very much likes meeting this way. And some of the old timers, and I've been in some discussions with some leadership, and we're coming out, so we don't have to do these virtual meetings. I said, you bet, yes, you do. This component is here to stay. For many of your committee meetings or subcommittee meetings, you still have to go face to face from time to time, but you better get used to including this in your meetings protocol. Whether even if it's hybrid, face to face and virtual, you've got to do this. Because, and for another reason, that's a fantastic membership development tool. The virtual meetings where people can sit at home, listen to what we do, ask questions, and say, "Wow, I never knew that. Where do I sign up?" So we have got to embrace this and keep it as part of our meetings going forward. In addition with some face to face, I get that, but you can do camaraderie at dinner meetings. That's fine. But you can really do camaraderie at the service projects. That's where it works best. That's when you really feel like we're having an impact, or we're together having a good time.
Go ahead and say something, Carol. Now's your chance.
Yeah, Carol's too shy to say anything. She's probably not going to say anything, are you, Carol?
Now, I was going to say, you asked me as far as diversity is concerned, and this vulnerable population group we have translators, and we also work with the Haitian groups, Latino groups, Mexican, and we got translators and everything, and we go and volunteer or help with, and in turn they come and help us. So that's one thing too, is volunteering your service or to help them. I think that's one way to get more of them in there. Of course, we've got some Afro-Americans, we got a Filipino, now I'm getting ready to get a Latino girl in our club. So we're getting there.
Humanity, compassion. Doesn't belong to one color of the rainbow. It belongs to the entire rainbow. If
Correct.
you care about people and you want to help people, we're the place to come now. And we got to keep that effort going.
Yeah, Joe, I totally agree with you that this is the future of Lionism in terms of how we have our meetings. I think when we go back to normal, have the service projects ready. But I've seen in the past year and 15 months more Lions in attendance at our meetings. Some people we hadn't seen for several years have come to the meetings, and it says that people are willing to come, and these are people who are absent from meetings because they're busy doing service for their church or something else. So the service is very important. But I think to get the information out, we're going to have to adjust ourselves to having a hybrid of, okay, those of you who can come out to the meeting, but we're going to be able to come into your home as well with our information and sign you on to this next service project we're doing at whatever site. I think you're so right. We've got to acknowledge that this is one way we can reach a larger population.
It's really win-win. There's no downside to really focusing on the virtual aspect. It's really win-win. Any other comments on that or any other questions? John?
I would just.
Or Bill?
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Bill said something. Yeah.
I was just going to say, in addition, we've been able to get speakers attending our meetings that we would never have gotten before. People that are, world renowned in their fields who don't mind sitting down at their computer for a half an hour to speak to our club. So our speaker series is probably the best it's ever been.
That's good. That's good. I see.
If you look,
I see. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you look at the telethon, the people they had show up to talk about the LCIF telethon and provide support, the stars, we never got them in person. So, and as far as I'm concerned, I would like to see our club board meetings continue on Zoom. We can have our dinner meetings in person, but our club board meetings, I think, should stay on Zoom.
That's one way to satisfy everybody. PJ, are you still with us? Can you bring in Chris Wooters on screen? I like Chris's comments. Anyway, Chris's chat says, I think it's more about relationships. I'd like to get him to talk to us about what he's thinking.
Joe, one of the problems that are evident, and the Bill DeLone can confirm it because we're both in Montgomery County, Maryland, is that our restrictions have been probably the toughest in the entire state of Maryland. So now we have to do that. We've had our first live meeting, and our second one will be next week. And we've also beginning to go live for our board meetings. We got to find a new place to meet. But those are the ways, because you can invite that stranger, that outsider, onto a Zoom meeting, but that's not going to be the easiest or the best way to do it.
I'd like to respond.
Thank you, Bill. John?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to respond to something in the chat there about meeting at other times than dinner meetings. The Kent Island Club that I belong to has one breakfast meeting each month and one dinner meeting each month. We found out that some of our members are running businesses and they couldn't get to the dinner meetings, but they could get to the breakfast meetings instead. So that's worked out pretty well.
That kind of addresses Diane's comment. How about meeting some other times than dinner? Absolutely. Meet for breakfast, meet for lunch. When you meet is entirely within the governing body. If you meet, even as far as meals, I mean, it used to be, man, you couldn't miss dinner meetings. If you missed 2 dinner meetings, you could, you lose your perfect attendance. Like, so it's more important to get together and eat than anything. So I think we have to rethink about what the definition of meetings are and when and where they are. And Chris is saying for too long, we've been trying to see how do we increase numbers or do we do more service. We need to try to get out and find people with common goals, no matter what they look like, and come together and make relationships and take our Lionism to the next level. Relationships is a good thing. In my own neighborhood, I've invited neighbors to Zoom into suburban meetings, and they've been doing it, and they're intrigued. None of them have committed so far, but they've been attending and listening. So relationships could be all around you, where you live, your work environment, your church environment, other organizations you belong to, professional outfits, and say, did you know what the Lions do? Maybe this is something that we could support. I think that's a win-win proposition to push relationships that way. And then Sharon Payne says our club is the Fusion Club in Frederick, Maryland. Sharon, keep commenting so I can repeat that. I'm still not sure. Hey, PJ is monitoring other groups. I think he said he could pull other people in, but he's not there at the moment, because I like to actually hear from you, from Chris and you. But tell us about the Fusion Club, Sharon. She'll be commenting shortly. While she's doing it, I also think I'm a big advocate of when you talk to someone about being a Lion, make sure you tell them your impact stories. Sharon says we were started with the intention of being a club representative of our community, but now they're a full-blown Lions club. Wow, I think that's pretty astounding.
And when you're talking to new people and you're talking about your impact stories, don't hit the fundraising so hard. I know with our club, the first thing we started talking about when we did it was trees. You're going to be selling Christmas trees. It'll suck up your entire month of December. Nobody has ever joined an organization with the intent of fundraising. They're joining a service organization to do service. Yes, the fundraising is necessary, but don't let that be the main thing you talk about.
Absolutely. The impact story that got me, I joined the Suburban Lions Club, and some of you have heard this, so you can go get a cup of coffee now, but I'm very proud of this story. I joined the club 40 years ago next month, at the age of 25, going on 26, and I walked in, all one color, mostly middle age or older. Good people. I enjoyed being with them, but I was in the club for 4 or 5, 6 months, but I had the benefit of being in the club with Norm Quibel, had been district governor within like 2 years earlier from the Suburban Club. And he became my mentor, and I would sit and have dinner with him. And I was at the point, as many new members are, thinking, is this right for me? I mean, I don't know. Seem like nice people, but what are they doing with this group? Do I really want to stay here? I mean, should I stay in the club? So at dinner one night, I asked Norm, I said, Norm, what made you join the Suburban Club, and what made you stay? And he said, well, Joe, when I joined the club back in the 60s, they had a waiting list. We had a club of 75 members, and we had a waiting list to join because we had no room where we met. Now, can you imagine having a waiting list for volunteers this day and age? Are you kidding me? But I listened. He said he finally got the call, and he was brought into the club, and he was sworn in as a new member. And since he was a rookie, he was put on the Health and Welfare Committee, their junior member of the Health and Welfare Committee. He's still working full time as a CPA accountant. So he gets a phone call one day, and he's working, and from the chairman of the committee, he said, Norm, we have a young family in Lanham. They've got a 5-year-old daughter who's got a very chronic eye problems, and she needs special prescription glasses for her to be able to see functionally. Can you take her to the ophthalmologist, for her appointment? And Norm said, well, I'm working full time. I mean, I got stuff to do. Don't we have members who are retired who could take her? And the chairman said, well, yeah, Norm, we do, but I thought you may want to get a flavor of what you do by doing this. But if you're too busy, that's fine. Norm said, no, I'll take her. Fine. So as I characterize him, Mr. Grumpy left his office, drove nearby to the house in Lanham where he got the address, and he went, knocked on the door, met the young couple, very lovely couple, and then he introduced him to the little 5-year-old girl, blonde hair, blue eyed, sweetheart, just and with these god awful looking glasses, thick glasses were like cosmetic purposes that served no purpose. And he had to stick his hand out for her to hold on to his hand for him to guide her to his vehicle, to put her in the car, from the vehicle, hold on to his hand, take her into the ophthalmologist's office, get her up in the seat. The ophthalmologist did all the measurements and everything. And when it was done, put her glasses back on, she hopped out. The ophthalmologist says, well, Mr. Quibel, it's going to take about a week or 10 days for the glasses to come in. We'll let the club know. So she grabbed his hand, walked her outside, put her in the car, took her home, got her out of the car, took her up, knocked on the door. As she turned her back over to her parents, she turned around and wrapped her arms around his legs, hugging him. So a week or 10 days later, he gets a phone call from the chairman of the committee. He said, Norm, those glasses have come in for the little girl you took, whatever her name was. Would you like to experience her getting those glasses, or are you too busy? Oh, no, absolutely. I'll take her. I'm on the way. So he went back to the house, springing a step this time, knocked on the door, got his hug from his new friend, stuck his hand out. She grabbed his hand, walked her to the car. From the car into the ophthalmologist's office, got her up in the chair. Small talk to calm her down. And he stood back with his arms folded and watched as the ophthalmologist took those cosmetic glasses and threw them in the trash and put the prescription glasses on her face. And what he saw was she hopped down. He stuck out his hand, and she said, I don't need to hold your hand anymore, Mr. Quibel. I can see. I sat there and a chill went down. I'll never forget that. It's one of my life's memories. A chill went down my back. And the first thought in my head was, oh yeah, I'm in the right place. Now I get what they do. That was his impact story, was mine. And I've had many of my own ever since. If we can convey, this is so much more than, dinner meetings and other problems that human beings have when they come together to aggravate each other. Look at the bottom line mission and goal of what we accomplish. And I've often said, if we could get all the people the Suburban Lions Club has helped in 71 years now to come and speak at our meeting, we'd be meeting for days because there's so many people we've helped. That is the story, our story. And the problem is we keep it inside ourselves and we don't share it on a regular basis with the people all around us. And in the other room right now is Larry Shelton, the club treasurer. I knew Larry, he'll probably grunt when he says it. I knew him, God knows how, 20 years plus before I asked him to join the Suburban Club. He's been club president, cabinet treasurer, active member, one of our greatest leaders. And I never asked him before then. And yet Chris Mallory from BB&T came to our office to try to convince us to deal with BB&T. So I said, well, will you come to our Lions? We come to Lions Club meeting. Well, she thought, looking at me, Chris, saying, oh, I'm going to go to a club of old white guys. I don't think so. Well, I stayed on her. I said, come on, you got to come. And Chris came, and by that time, Suburban had started to transition from what we were to what we are now, which was, by the way, one of the most diverse clubs in the district. And she got there and she fell in love with it. Chris has been around for a long time. She's been cabinet treasurer in club offices. So, and then Andrea Cumberland, I volunteered at Holy Cross with her for 25 years. On Sundays, she was in charge of pediatric, ICU for the preemies. And one Sunday, she came into the pastoral care office as I was about to go on the floors to give out communion, and she was on fire. She said, "So I had this discussion with so and so, and I just spoke like a lioness." As soon as she said lioness, I went, "Oh, hey Andrea, what are you doing this coming Thursday night?" And she came to the Suburban meeting, and she'll tell the story herself, and the rest is history. She's a past district governor. They can't join and be a part of the power, the army of impact, the power of compassion army, unless they know about it. So my own example is people I just met and people I've known 25 years plus, but they're all around all of you and everyone else out there. So we've got to make it second nature to tell the story. I mean, I'll go on Facebook, on social media. I put, as many of you know, I put Lions stuff on all my social media. I got a lot of friends who aren't Lions, so they read that all the time. So share the Lions story on your social media with ways for people to say, contact me or talk to me about it. Now, Kelly Randolph says we need to stop talking about our club and start talking about the fact that we are all Lions and together we serve. Good point. Joining together will allow us to broaden our footprint in our communities, which in turn will enable us to expand our membership and continue to support all of those areas of empowering service for which we all support. Excellent. Kelly's kind of active too. She's our district LCIF Campaign 100 coordinator, who's got 22C, has already exceeded goal for Campaign 100, and we've got 13 months to go. I think Kelly's. I should tell her she needs a double goal to see if that gets a reaction. Wait a minute, she knows where I live. So anyway, I pontificated enough. Any comments, impact, other stories, even an impact story or two, on how we can share this beautiful power of compassion with as many people as possible, because who doesn't like it? Deb?
I totally agree with you. I had an awakening a couple weeks ago. Past District Governor Sonia, at the beginning of this year, actually the beginning of the pandemic year, said to me, Debbie, we used to have a Latino club. And as membership chair, we need to get that club back up and running. And I searched every single Lions bag I have with hordes of information to find information. And then finally, Lion Bill found the name in his email. And then I called that number we had. And that individual said, oh, yeah, we used to be very active. And I remember that past Lion, deceased now, Bob Bosley, was the one that started that club. And they had a very influential member who was honored at our night, our 22C night. Remember Dr. Martinez, who was going down to the South America to work with people with their eyesight. And he was honored. And this was a very active club in our district. And then it just filtered out. So I didn't give up. I kept looking. And finally, I found several emails. And I just sent an email saying, how are you all? How are you doing? Hope you're surviving in this pandemic. And I didn't hear anything for almost 3 months. 3 months. And then week before last, I get an email from one of them. And it says, oh my goodness, I was cleaning up my spam. It is wonderful to hear from the Rockville Lions Club and what I have been doing. As we say, everyone wants to serve. We just need to tell them, come and help us serve. She said, what I have done is during the pandemic, I started a not-for-profit organization, and we are feeding 1,200 people a day here in Montgomery County, primarily Hispanics. And I wrote back, you are going to be a speaker at our club. I don't want to go full force and say, we're going to bring you back in as a club or certainly as a member. But this is an indication of how we are so on target when we say to people, would you love to join the Lions organization? Because we serve, because the people we get are people who want to serve. Here's a member that left 22C, maybe I think it's 8 years ago that club disbanded from this district. And yet she has found a way to serve her community. I think we need to get them back. So that's my goal. And it may not happen within this this year, as Lion Sonia was hoping we could do, but it certainly will happen next year that we will somehow bring, if not the Latino club back, but some of its members, because they're out there in their own communities serving. So yes, service is the key, and getting people to recognize that they can serve within this organization.
Thank you, Deb. That's beautiful. Comment from Leon Cardiff. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Here's a thought about getting younger people to eventually join. Students have requirements for students serving learning hours to graduate. Find the contact at your local high school and let them know that your club can utilize individuals for service projects, juniors and seniors. And this may give young people an avenue that they may not know about for the diverse projects your club participates in. That's very true. That's also prime territory to maybe start a Leo club or start that effort. So thank you. Lee and Anita Bird, every club is different and operates differently. Don't hesitate to sponsor a person into Lions in a different club if their operation or interests are more in line with that club. I mean, I've sponsored, again, the current governor, Ruth. She did some accounting for me temporarily. I talked to her about Lions. She joined Silver Hill. Look at her. Got a pretty good resume of people that I just simply talked to about Lions, and look what they did. I think that doesn't mean just because I talk to you about, does that mean we have to go on to be governor and stuff like that? No, it just means help your community.
Joe, the Sandy Spring Club every year sponsors 2 scholarships at our local high school. And we tell them the needs are community service, involvement, financial need, etc. But we ask them to mention, and they did, the 2 award winners that we selected for the reasons I just stated also happen to be members of our Leo Club.
And that's
very, very proud of them for that. And that's another way that if you can get the youth involved as time goes by, maybe they'll show up.
Yeah, but the popular misconception is young people don't care, and the fact is they are volunteering really at a higher rate than we are if you analyze what they're doing. So separate facts from fiction. There's a disconnect between generations. We have to make them realize what we're doing is we're doing this, but you need to come in and take our place in later years.
Well, similar to Bill's story, we sponsor scholarships at Montgomery College, and we invite those students to come to our meeting. They learn about Lions, and we were able to have one of those students join us as a student member, and now he's a regular member after he graduated. So yes, the scholarships are a nice way to get some young people interested in our Lions clubs.
That's excellent. But with Leos, we have to do a better job when their year is up to connect them, get them to become full Lions, or if they go to college, connect them with Lions wherever college you go to.
That's the problem is so many clubs think, well, they're just going to go away to college, so I don't want to get them started in our club. One, how far are they going to go around here? They're not really. And even if they do, get them started at least. And then, like Joe said, connect them with one in the college there, or they can still be a member of your club via Zoom these days. And they can just do service projects and help out when they're home on vacation. As long as they're a member in good standing, transferring to another club is easy. So get them in. Don't think, oh, well, they're going to go off anyway, so no point getting them in now. You've lost them then.
Right. The DC Special Olympics Club, they've got members from all over the world, and they'll have their Zoom meetings. So where you physically are doesn't matter. You can participate this way and have just as much impact. Any other questions or comments? Any other impact stories? Deb?
I don't want to talk too much, but I talk too much anyway, so I might as well. But I think with fondness of how Bill and I became a member of this district of the Rockville Lions Club. We were going into a Giant, and there was a white cane, and the person sitting at the chair with the white cane was a lion by the name of Ray Smallwood.
Oh my God.
And because we know Lionism from the Virgin Islands, we were happy to put $20 in his pot. And he was like, whoa. And we said, yeah, we used to be Lions. Well, Ray followed us when he was finished around the Giant, and he got our phone number, address, and then he called us the next day, and he invited us to a Rockville Lions Club meeting. And we're always busy or we're traveling, and so we could never go. And then we would come home from a trip, and someone would say to us, one of our neighbors, there was a man sitting outside your door in a car, and he left a message. And the message would be from Ray Smallwood, inviting us to a lot. And finally, I said to Bill, after like 10 tries, Bill, you know what? We better go to the meeting with that man, or our neighbors are going to report him. Well, we did. And the rest is history. And I will never forget, we had been lioness in the days when women couldn't join. I was a lioness. Bill was a lion in the Virgin Islands. And I will never forget, Joe, you were present at our initiation or induction. And you raised your hand, and I don't know if the Rockville Lions Club had ever had an assistant secretary, but you said, and Debbie, you'd like to be the assistant secretary, wouldn't you? And I went, yeah, okay. And so I was. And that was the first day I was inducted. I became the assistant secretary of Rockville Lions Club. And the rest is history.
He's dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah.
I hear no regrets. I hear no regrets at all.
No.
And fantastic life experiences. And there's more to come. We have some other comments. I think our incoming governor's sitting here. Bill, you got any questions for us?
Well, mainly what I'm thinking about is the clubs working together. We're not just one club. We're not one district. We're Lions, and our motto, we serve. Doesn't matter whether we serve with W, A, B, C. If we can get a project together that we can work together, I imagine we can come up with quite a few new Lions in such a project.
You better mention D also, otherwise the chat line's going to explode.
Well, they're a little bit far from us right now, but A, B, and C are right. We're within 50 miles of one another in a circle. We really are.
Lee Bird sitting beside you.
Yeah, D has a lot of very close relatives in Maryland.
I'm sure they do. but that's the main thing, is that we serve, but we serve. And I notice every time I go to different clubs, it's Laytonsville's doing this, Olney's doing this. Why aren't we doing this as Lions together? And I think we could do a lot better projects.
Well, your challenge next year with your cabinet is to help us get down that road.
We're working on it. I've already got one scheduled for this year right here in Olney, where Laytonsville, Olney, and Sandy Spring are all working together.
Excellent. I see. I'm reading some more of the chats. I can't see the name because the chat's gone up. It says, if a club would be interested in a vision screening camera, we have one for sale. This is a spare. We have a newer model. Contact me at HEYBLUE77@gmail.com or call 301-471-187 for more info. Kelly Randolph says every student in Maryland needs 36 hours of community service to graduate. Perhaps we need to contact each county board of education to let them know that Lions clubs are out there and can provide opportunities for all students. Then Leon Cardiff says, Kelly, best to contact the local school and find who is in charge of accounting for the service learning hours. That's a good idea. That's the lowest contact is best. That's right. The lowest contact is best because they have contacts on the street and then set up the chain of command and never sees anybody. That's a good point. Let's see what else.
Hey, Joe, just a comment on Bill's.
Nick says there's a 10-minute warning. Oh, well.
Just a comment on Bill's comment earlier about clubs working together. A lot of clubs say they don't have enough help to do projects, but if you go to the next town or one of your fellow clubs, ask for some help.
Yeah, make it a zone project.
Exactly. Or just clubs helping clubs.
Just a Lions project. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
You know, one thing I did when I was governor, and we did it for a while, then we stopped doing it. was I had the fall forum and the spring fling. The forum, Bill, what I did was urge the clubs we did a little regional leadership forum with educational seminars like the USA Canada Forum does. We did that in September, informational forums of all sorts. And then in the spring, I urged the clubs to pick a weekend and go out to your community, set up tables and promote yourselves, do a service project and sell lines in the communities. Fall forum, spring fling. It worked really well. That year, besides the fact that was when Lions International obliterated the Lions, another topic entirely. But we finished with a net increase of 112 members that year because we were able to save a lot of the Lionesses, but we also had clubs out there doing the fall forum and the spring fling. You know, if you're going to sit in the club in your area, not talking about anything, you know, nothing's going to happen. The clubs are out there doing stuff.
Absolutely.
The people who stepped up as visitors to the Fusion Club a few weeks ago. Blind people who live on limited incomes often use their Perkins Braillers to write confirmation numbers, phone numbers, contact people, and other things we write with a pen on paper when on the phone. Fixing a Brailler costs at least $100. We have been able to fix 3 machines so far, thanks to the angels masquerading as lions. That's I like that. The Maryland Braille Club will be starting again soon. Leon also says our club sponsors charters for Boy Scout and Cub Scout packs. Lee and Anita, we do work together, but usually gets it to be a zone or region project. What the heck? And then Leon says, still have your U.S. flag and some other items, Braillers. Sharon, how can one donate to help fix the Braillers? So anyway, there's some good chats going on. So check your chat lines. Good discussions happening.
Building on Bill's comment about joint projects, if we could figure out the equivalent of electronic bulletin board where we could post service projects, we'd basically be open up opportunities to young people and our members to do a whole lot more service.
Is that what My Lion's supposed to be?
Excuse me?
Isn't that what My Lion is supposed to be? Serve that function? Because you post it out there and get other people to join you.
Yeah, so check out My Lion, Bill. Or Ralph, maybe give some guidance on that too, because I know that stuff's out there, and I don't do all of that myself. I must admit, but it is a good tool
when it works.
When it works, that's another one. Well, Bill and Deb also they're very committed to environmental issues, and they've become gotten involved with some environmental issues, working with CI to raise the awareness on that. So I think that's been a benefit. That never would have happened if you had not become Lions, right?
Correct.
Any other comments? We can't be done. This is too gabby of a group.
We'll try and get PJ or whoever to get the contact information, which Sharon has just posted, get it to Sandy Halderman so she can publish it in C and or everywhere else. That sounds so valuable and interesting.
We can do that. Sharon, do you have Sharon, take down my
I just recorded it, Joe.
Okay.
Wrote it on her contact info.
Okay, let's get it to Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. We only have 5 minutes left, and I don't want to count down seconds. Let's talk about something else. Any other challenges or success stories? Well, I appreciate this back and forth. I think this is quite beneficial to everybody. I think we should take these ideas and maybe take them back to our clubs, to our governors. And I said, Bill Laby's our new governor. That's in 22C. He's one of 5. There's 4 others. So want to clarify that because we got representatives here from various districts, which is nice. I think participation's up to 37.
That's what it says.
That is 38.
38.
That's really pretty fantastic.
Dave Mitchell will be our new governor indeed.
You better do right by him because he's focused, he's zoned in. So I think he wants people to step up and help him lead that district. So Dave's not a shy guy. I know that. Plus, he might sick his dog on you, right? I don't.
She has a nasty bark.
Just hope and pray that we'll all be able to be live together in Gettysburg next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, our COG has started meeting already with our future council chair, and we're going to continue to use Zoom. We're going to try and make our meetings hybrid so that all Lions can see what's going on at the district level. We're going to try for a lot more transparency, and we're going to try and involve the committees from each district in the multiple. So they won't be a committee of one. When you're a multiple district chair, you'll actually have a committee working with you, trying to spread the load and involve more people at all levels.
Thank you, Dave. Kelly does also said, take a minute to support Campaign 100. We haven't just taken a minute to support Campaign 100, which is the greatest humanitarian initiative, I think, in the history of the world, to raise $300 million. And we've already raised $205 million to help millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people, that's pretty good impact, don't you think? So just keep watching the information that comes out from Campaign 100. We're about to enter the third year, and we're going to not only meet the goal of 300 million, in my opinion, as area coordinator for 1A, I think we're going to exceed 300 million, because that's what Lions do. And in MD 22, the multiple district is at 90% of its total goal, with 13 months to go, over $1 million, all to help people. I'm just so proud of the Lions of MD 22. It's just powerful stuff.
Telephone just raised almost $900,000.
And that's really conservative, because what we're not able to capture is those who phoned in during the telethon just went online to donate, and that probably went through regular LCIF donations instead of being attributed to the telethon itself. All we know, so there was a big bump early that week, but we couldn't be sure, so we just went with what we could verify as 800 and some odd thousand. But that's going international, the telethon now. I know that because I'm on the committee. I'm drawn into that to help plan that to go international and be annual from here on out. So, greatest humanitarian foundation there is on earth, I think, is LCIF, and you ain't seen nothing yet. So, be prepared to hear more about that. With that, I think we're just about out of time. I want to thank everybody. Thanks everybody for your input. Bill, Deb, Elizabeth, Ralph, all of you, Bill Laveley, everybody who spoke, Bill Thomas, because you're sharing your thoughts, and you're in the chats also was a big help, because I recited as most of them as I could, and right now the participation at 41. I mean, wow, that's really very cool. So thank you for that, and I guess the social part of at least these sessions is about to end at 8 o'clock, and I think there's some other things going on. I hear we're going to have some more entertainment going on, and if you hang in, go back to other sessions going on after 8 o'clock. But then tomorrow, convention officially starts. So let's enjoy the next 2 days of Zoom. It's going to be some work and some interesting events going on, and some really great seminars tomorrow afternoon.
God bless you. God bless America.
LVRF, LeverNet, and LYF. So good night, everybody. Thank you for being here, and enjoy the rest of this evening, and enjoy your convention. And any comments you have to make, feel free to make them.
Great seeing everybody.
Thank you all.
Hello, Clem.
How's everybody doing?
We're great. We just finished the session.
Great. I logged on earlier, but I was panning through some of the other sessions. Bill Lively, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
How are you, sir?
I heard a comment the other day that I just couldn't understand why someone make that comment.
And what was that, sir?
They said you now have an AA to do your job.
That is correct.
That should not been said. There is a AA to support the multiple district, not Bill Lively.
That's correct. She's also that.
You got my message?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're signing off anyways.
Hi, John. Hi, Jane.
Hi,
Bill.
How you doing?
Good, good, thanks.
Good.
We've been here, but we're exposing ourselves now.
I see that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's about time to listen to the hubcaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go tune in. How do we go?
All
there?
righty.
Go to session?
Yeah, we go back to the sessions over there.
Yep.
Okay.
See you
All
there.
right.
See you
I'll
there.
catch you later.
Do some dancing, Bill.
All righty.